Hello friends, come back with me for Optics Nationals. So fun fact, I almost didn't register for Nationals this year, and there are a couple of reasons why I initially wasn't going to register for them, and then a couple of reasons why I ultimately did decide to register for Nationals this year. Also, welcome to my first YouTube video. I don't know how this works, but enough of y'all have told me to just get a channel started, so we're doing that, and we'll kind of figure it out as we go. Now, back to Nationals. We're gonna flash back a little bit to last year. When I went to Nationals last year, I was still kind of a mid C-class shooter. And when I first started competitively shooting, I think that was like July of 2022, I was a legit D-class shooter. I mean, I had shot before, I'd shot like maybe a couple matches before then, but 2022 is when I really decided to, take this sport seriously and train and actually go to matches and everything. And you can ask any of my friends, you can ask my coach. I had some work to do. So with that being said, going into Optics Nationals 2023, after about, 9 months of training with my coach, he was able to take me from a D-class shooter to a mid to high C-class shooter. And he was like, just go to Nationals, see where you rank, go see the playing field. For me, I was going to use that as an opportunity to do what he said and see the competition in this sport and see if this is a level I want to eventually get to. We went to Nationals and I saw the playing field, and even at the level I was at last year, I saw those people and I was like, I can do this, I can get to here. Yes, it's a couple years out, but this is something I want to do and this is something I am capable of doing. So that was kind of what last year was all about. After Nationals last year, I continued to kind of improve a ton. Like last year, there were a lot of jumps made in my shooting capabilities, and I went from mid C class to a mid B class a couple months after Nationals, and then I just kind of stuck there throughout the fall, and that was kind of frustrating. And at the time, I didn't know why I had plateaued so hard after seeing such huge jumps. I went from, like I said, a legit D class shooter in 2022, made a very big improvement and jumped to kind of a mid C, and then I went to a mid B, and I just kind of got stuck there, and I was really, really frustrated in the fall of 2023. After I sat down kind of with myself and looked at everything, questioning why I had plateaued so hard, what was going on, I had realized my focus had shifted in the fall of 2023 after competing in my first Nationals and a few of my first major matches ever. When I was going to those matches, when I was training for Nationals, I was in a gap semester between undergrad and grad school, and I was also working in the gun industry. I was working in gun stores, instructing, and so I basically always had access to a range. I always had access to train, and I can attribute that to some of those huge jumps I made last spring. I always had somewhere to go. If a client didn't show up, I could go shoot. If I got to work early, I could shoot. If I had a free moment, I could go shoot. And so anytime I wasn't doing anything, I was training, I was shooting. And that really, I think, helped me make some of those initial jumps that I did. Now, I did work in the gun industry for a little bit, just trying to decide if that was the career I wanted to go down or if I wanted to stick with my academic career. And ultimately, I decided I did want to maintain my career in academia. I wanted to go continue to get my master's and eventually my PhD. I want to do research and help people that have the same kind of heart conditions I have, work with special populations. And that gap semester really proved that to me. And unfortunately, as much as I love the 2A community, there is a certain level of toxicity. And I hate saying that, but I think we all know there is a certain level of it, and it really took a toll on me, and it started to take a toll on my love for the sport, which is why I decided to quit my jobs in the gun industry, go all in on my academic career, on my research, and kind of, start over with everything. So that happened in fall of 2023, and that was when I started seeing my shooting plateau. Can we guess why? I wasn't training nearly as much. Now, I was still dry firing. I was getting to the range whenever I could, but with getting higher level degrees, those take a lot of focus. So while I was working in the gun industry at gun stores, access to ranges and everything, I had basically like this much energy and this much time, this much focus. This is what I had to give to work because that's all it required. And then the rest of it, I could give to shooting. Starting grad school and also working as a TA, so I'm teaching undergrad classes, I'm grading papers, doing my own classes, and then working in a couple part-time jobs that were more closely related to my degree and closer to what I want to do with my future degrees. I had this much, and all of those things combined required this much time, focus, and energy, which left me with this much time, focus, and energy to give to shooting. So obviously I plateaued a little bit. Once I came to that realization, I went to my coach and basically ranted all of this to him in some sort of, I don't know, like episode breakdown, mental breakdown. And I was like, I don't think I can, because of what I'm able to give to this right now, I don't think I can improve the same way I improved last spring. And to me, that was really, really frustrating, because even though I had all these other focuses on my research, on my academics, I still treated shooting like a full-time job in a sense. Like I said, I'm very competitive. I like to set goals for myself. I have standards, and I had decided last spring that shooting was something I wanted to be competitive in. I wanted to make a name for myself in, grow in, improve in. So seeing that it was almost like I couldn't have both that and the research and academic career I wanted, it was really stressful for a time. And so I expressed that to my coach, and I was like, I want to still put in the last little bit of time and energy I have into this sport, but I may need to just stay in maintenance mode for the time being. I don't know if I can go to nationals. I was just very stressed, and he's a godsend. He listened to me, he understood, and we went into maintenance mode starting, I think, winter 2023 into this current spring 2024. We just kind of got a plan, and we were working to not go down further than I had felt I had gone down, even though I hadn't. Come March, I was talking with my coach, and he was like, you just sign up for nationals. Believe it or not, you have improved. And the numbers were there to show it. I was a mid B class shooter in the fall. I plateaued, and then somehow, because my coach is sneaky, even though we were in maintenance mode, he still helped me improve a little bit. I was able to get to a high B class shooter, 2 points away from A class. So frustrating. I've been stuck there since I think March is when I got like 73%. But he was like, you have improved, believe it or not, sign up for it. And so I said, screw it, let's just do it. Let's see where we are. So all the reasons I gave to myself for not going to nationals ultimately were thrown out the window, and I gave myself reasons to go to nationals. And now I'm actually really excited. Last year when I went, I was obviously nervous. You know, that was my first summer going to any major matches. And like I said, I was there just to kind of see the playing field, get an experience in, and see, is this something I want to do, which I did decide I wanted to do. This year, it's weird. I don't necessarily have nerves going into it, which I thought I would, because I do have high expectations for myself, and I do know that there are others that have expectations for me given where I stand now as a shooter. I'm a completely different shooter now than I was a year ago, and a year ago I was a different shooter from where I was a year prior to that. So I along with others have expectations for myself. So when I initially registered, I was like, what if I'm not good enough? What if people don't understand that I am in school and that that's my main focus, but I also want to do well here, you know, worrying about what other people think. And as we've gotten closer to this week, when we're about to head out, I have this weird sense of collectedness. I'm not gonna use that word. I have this weird sense of confidence and calmness going into it, knowing that I am capable of shooting the way I want to shoot. I know what I'm able to do despite having 10,000 other things going on, and I know how I want to do, and I know that I'm able to do it. Now, will I be disappointed in myself if I don't hit those goals that I have set for myself? Yes, but I'm also going in with this understanding of, while I love this sport and want to be really, really successful in it, I do have these other parts of my life that I really want to contribute to and be successful in as well. And that is where my focus has been this past year, really. I think we all see on social media a ton of people being super successful at this sport, and we want to be that. It's human nature. We want to be good at things, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I know for one, I get so tied into it that I fail to realize all the other successes that I made. I've been told I've made some pretty vast improvements in my shooting, and sometimes it's hard for me to see because I'm so focused on how good someone else is, and I'm not realizing that I'm doing other stuff too that I'm also succeeding in, even if it's not the same goals that other people have set. We all kind of have our own path, we all have our own journeys, we all have our own goals, and at the end of the day, you know what you're capable of, and you know what your limits are, and you know how much effort you're putting into that. So all that being said, I am actually now, as Nationals gets closer, I'm very excited to go. I'm excited to see those improvements that I made from last year, even though I've been stupid crazy busy this year. And I'm excited to see familiar faces, and I'm just, I'm just generally excited. Like I said, I kind of fell out of love with the sport for a little bit. I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. Did I want to stay in the gun industry? Did I want to go down the academic path? What did I want to do? And now it's all starting to come and tie together and even itself out. And I'm excited to go shoot with some pretty awesome people for 3 days and have a really good time up there. It's really weird being as competitive as I am, but also putting things in perspective and understanding that things are a marathon, not a sprint, and that it's okay to have multiple goals and want to do multiple things at once. All too often, I think people tell us you have to pick one thing and stick with it, when that's really not the case. I can love shooting and I can love my research. I can love going to school. I can love hiking and learning how to ride a motorcycle and doing martial arts. I can love all these things and be good at them. I don't have to pick just one thing to do. I'm very excited to see some of y'all at Nationals. I hope that it goes well, obviously, and that it's not a monsoon like it was last year. We were literally running in swamps last year. It was not fun. And I have rambled on long enough. Like I said, I don't really know how YouTube works, but this is what we're gonna do. I plan for these to be kind of more video diary style, which is what this is. So I'm gonna go finish packing because I cannot multitask and I really have to get packing. So have a good day, you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you in Ohio in a couple days.